Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I am back in my normal recording studio room, whatever I want to call it, back from Japan. It was a wonderful trip, and kind of as promised in one of the videos, I can't remember which one, we're going to do a haul video just to see what I got. I showed off a couple things in some of the videos and talked about a couple things in some of the streams, but here we have the encompassing of everything that I picked up in Japan, at least for myself. I bought a lot of souvenirs and snackies for the family. I brought those back, but I did get some things for myself and some cool things, some things I'm excited about. Did some gachapon shopping, got a couple capsule toys, and we're gonna take a look at all those right here. So first up, this is out of the capsule. I actually did find the Mother 2, not find a Mother 2 gachapon machine. They were all over the place. It was finding one with capsules in them. And here we go, right here. And I got one. And this is going to go probably in my Famicom display. Not sure. But first one. And this is the little red capsule he came in. And I was kind of hoping for Ness or Mr. Saturn. That's what I wanted to get, but, you know. Rarely ever do you get what you want in the capsules, but there you go right there. I'm probably going to throw away the capsules, but, you know, there's when you go to, like, especially like a capsule store, but usually when you see capsule machines, like a bunch of them, there's a little, like, recycling thing that you can just put your capsule in. But since I was transporting all of these home, I was like, I'm just going to leave them in the capsules. And this one I found, this one was a really cool one. Oh, and I haven't even opened this one. The tape's still on it. It was a unique one. I was in a Labby, which is another one of their like big electronic department stores, kind of like a Yodobashi or a Bit Camera. A little bit smaller though. And I was in the toy section, like looking at figures and stuff like that, and they had these David Bowie capsules where you get little pins of a David Bowie album right there. Yeah, it's small. It's not gonna really focus on it. David Bowie, and it's the Hours album. So that's just really cool. That's probably going to get put on my travel bag. I wanted to put it on my travel bag while I was in Japan because I was doing so much traveling. I was like, oh, this might fall off. I'm not going to risk it. A friend of mine, she gave me a tip. Put super glue on it, and it will stay on there. So I'm going to do that. Put on my travel bag. Next up, I grabbed this one. Had like 3,000 yen left towards the end of the trip, and I didn't want to bring home a bunch of yen, obviously, and I didn't want to just go through and exchange it for a few bucks. So with my 3,000 yen left, I was going to the capsule machines, got some stuff for the boys. But this one I got for myself. It is I've got one for Gundam Wing. If you watched one of the Surugaya videos, I've got a Gundam Wing one that I ordered straight from Gundam Wing. There's a Mobile Suit Gundam like movie poster. That's easily going to go in the Gundam case with the Gundams. So that was cool right there. And then these last two kind of go together. Got them both at the Nintendo store. One in Osaka, one in Japan. This first one, it was from the Osaka one. The N64 buttons. Boop, boop, boop. Little fidget thing. These will probably just go on my desk. I was hoping to get one of the joysticks for either the joystick or C-stick for the GameCube or the joystick for the N64, but I got buttons with each of them. But so these are really cool. Just kind of have just to, you know, fidget around with, play with. So these are the gachapons that I picked up in Japan. These ones will probably sit right on my desk, right by my PlayStation and Sega Saturn watches that I got from a gachapon on a previous Japan trip. So all the gacha capsules right there. I might keep the Nintendo ones, the big round ones. I might keep that with the Nintendo thing in there. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with the gachapons. So then next up, I'm going to go with this one. This is kind of just like a funny thing to me to get. Like, I didn't even know this existed until recently. You know, the NBA Live series from EA. I don't even think it's around anymore. I think the only NBA game we get is the 2K series. But Live 2002, I want to say it had like Tim Duncan on the cover. But in Japan, it had Michael Jordan on the cover. And not just Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan in a Wizards uniform on the cover. And being a DC kid, being a DC sports fan, I had to get this. I was like, never again, at least in my lifetime, will a wizard appear on a video game cover. And I don't think never before. This is like the only... Maybe John Wall was on one of the 2K. I'd have to look that up, but I doubt it. So yeah, I saw this 500 yen Surigaya in Osaka, and complete. Got the manual, got the game. I was like, yeah, this is a must purchase for me. My plan is like anytime one of my favorite like local teams kind of thing is on the cover of a game, I'm gonna get it. Just like I've got down there. No, I don't have it down there. Over there, Madden 24, because Josh Allen, because the Bills are my second favorite team. Josh Allen's on the cover because again, never before in a Madden game has a Redskin or a Bill been on the cover, so I had to grab that. In fact, like after this season, Jaden Daniels might end up on the cover of Madden for next year, so I'll probably have to buy that one. But we got Michael Jordan in the Wizards costume there. And this was going back to the Nintendo store, this was kind of a unique thing that I picked up there. So it's not Nintendo DS. What it is a holder for your Subway card, for your Passmo or Suico card. So it comes like, everything's like actual size, but then gotta knock it out there. But boom, there's my Passmo card. And I'm just going to keep that in there. And it just fits right there in the DS thing. And so I'm going to keep this in box like it would be Super Mario 2 kind of style. Like the DS thing, because I'm just going to display it like that. Because I was hoping to find it not too expensive Mario 2, The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid DS or Disk System games. And you used to just call them DS until the Nintendo DS came out. Now you have to say Disk System. Well, I guess if you said Famicom DS, people would know what you're talking about. I was hoping to find those not like too expensive. I did find Zelda and Metroid, but they were stupid expensive. But yeah, there you go. There it is. That's how the original Mario 2 looked when it first came out on the Disk System. I'll still keep like there you go, because it is a blind box. There's the ones you get. I was really hoping to get the Zelda one, obviously. But Mario 2 is good. Good fallback for that. So I thought about buying like more than one, but I was like, these were 1,700 yen, so about $13, $14. I was like, one's good enough for that. Hopefully I get one that I want, and I did. So lucky for me. And then next, got a hard off sticker. Not sure where I'm going to stick this yet. Maybe on my toolbox outside or my fridge outside. Maybe on the TV back there. Not sure where the hard off sticker is going to go. Maybe I'll put it right there on the Mac. But got that at one of my hard off trips because I wanted the keychain, but the keychain was just wood. Like it was like the hard off logo carved into like a wooden keychain, which would have been cool if it was like painted the blue and yellow. But because it was just the bare wood, I was like, that's not as cool. So I got that instead. And from that hard off trip, I got 2 games to add to my Japanese GameCube collection. We got Naruto. This one's kind of beat up, but it was 100. Oh, this was from a book off, not the hard off trip. But it was 100 yen, and I can just display it like that so you don't see the beat up end, though. I might try to super glue that down. But 100 yen to add to my collection. I was like, 100 yen's 100 yen. This one was 550, but Super Mario 4, and I haven't even taken it out of it. Oh, I'm going to get that away from the microphone. I'm sure that sounded great. But get it out of the plastic prison. Set that down there and throw it away later. But yeah, I haven't even looked at it. I think it's all complete. Yeah, there we go. There's the manual. Game's in good condition. So yeah, so add that to the GameCube collection. 2 more games for my GameCube collection. Then, of course, to add on to the Final Fantasy collection, Final Fantasy VII. Got this from a book off in Shibuya. Only 270 yen, so not bad. This was the cheapest I saw Final Fantasy VII. Because this was in a small part of Shibuya. So it's not like the heart of Shibuya. This is where I was staying at. We had a hard off or a book off not too far. And it was reasonably priced. But yeah, I would see Final Fantasy VII at Surigaya's and Hardoff's close to Osaka, going for like a couple thousand yen. I was like, this game is not worth that much. And yeah, the discs are in good shape. Got the manual. Let me take a look at the Japanese manual. Classic Cloud looking at Shenron. Got all of our characters. So, yeah, just a really cool game to add to my Final Fantasy collection, which I'm trying to get a version, whether it be North America or Japan, version of 1 through 7. So I've got 1 there, 6 is there, 7's here, 9, and I believe 8 is also over there. So we're well on our way. I think we're over halfway. Let's see. 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 5 out of 9. That's over halfway. And this one puts a 6 out of 9. Complete inbox. Final Fantasy V. Picked this up at the Surugaya outlet. It was pretty inexpensive. I can't remember what I paid for this because I've already taken it. It's already out of the plastic because at that Surugaya, the games were not in the box. They put them in there for you. So there's our game right there. Little bit of fading there, sun damage, but that's all right. It's going to stay in the box. I'm not worried about that. And then we've got our warning label and our manual. So complete inbox. And oh, it folds out. Okay, I was like, that's weird. Folds out, gives you a whole map and everything. So yeah, so now we've got 6 out of the 9 that we need. Only 3 left to go. 2, 3, and 4. And I saw all of them. I could have gotten 2 out of the box, but I do want these complete inbox. So I passed on 2. But finding 2 and 4 complete inbox were pretty expensive whenever I saw them. And they were mostly at like Super Potato and the Surugaya in downtown Osaka. So they were a little bit more expensive, unfortunately. But I was able to get this, because I saw this for a lot of money too, but I was able to get it for a good price. So now the hunt is just on for the last 3 that I need. Oh, and before I get to some of the rest of the stuff, here's my bag from the Osaka Nintendo store. I'm going to keep this for a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Much like my Nintendo New York bag. I kept it for a while and then got rid of it. So that will stay for a while. And of course, to feed my latest addiction of Japanese Laserdisc, Field of Dreams, Raiders of the Lost Ark, to go with Temple of Doom back there. And to complete the trilogy, Lost Crusade. It doesn't have the side card though, but this was the only copy of Lost Crusade. And then also The Rocketeer. These were all 100 yen each, so I paid 400 yen for the 4 of them. So that was kind of like a well worth it kind of thing. Before I get to my last 2 things, I went to Chris Broad's Lost Bar. I'm going to do a short little video about my experience there soon, complete with intro video showing how to get into the Lost Bar. But yeah, I kept my coaster. It was fun. It was interesting. But again, I'll do a full video. Well, short. Well, not a short, but a short video on that. All right, so next up, same. So I did stream from the heart off that I got my Super Famicom. Finally got a Super Famicom. It's a junked one. I don't know what's wrong with it. And it could just be no, that doesn't sound great. It could just be they couldn't test it out. So maybe I'll plug this in to the TV back there later and see if it works. But junked Famicom. And I finally got my Super Famicom controller. I don't know if I'm going to display this because this is going to be a display piece. I don't know if I'm going to display that with it, but I always wanted a Super Famicom controller because I like the multicolored buttons to it as opposed to just, the purple and gray we got in the US. And it's kind of one of those things like comparing the Super Nintendo, so you can see mine back there. I'm not going to go grab it right now and unhook everything. But it was like the design of the system. I don't know which one I like better for the design. Growing up with the Super Nintendo, that's kind of a little more iconic to me because I was much older before I saw the Super Famicom. There's an expansion port there. Again, yeah, it's kind of sun damage there, but it's okay. I'm gonna probably have this like tilted up like this on display. In fact, like that case, the case right there in the middle next to the belts is probably going to be where I display my Nintendo systems. I'm going to go from Famicom, Super Famicom, 64, GameCube, all the way to the bottom because I have extras of all those systems. So that's probably going to be the display down there. But as far as the design, like, it's more sleek and rounded. To me, this design is kind of boring compared to the look of the Super Nintendo. But I will say I like the blue, yellow, green, red buttons compared to the, again, purple and gray we got here in the States. And I like that logo better than just like the Super Nintendo logo we got. So I feel if we kind of mix the designs a little bit, gave us a little more splash of color. Because how cool would the Super Nintendo kind of look with, instead of going like the purple and the gray, we went with, that color scheme, and the power button, was like green or blue, and the reset button was red, and maybe the eject button was like yellow. We just kind of mixed those colors in there and, just made it a little more colorful. But finally got my Super Famicom. Been wanting one, only paid 500 yen for that because, again, it was junked and it may or may not work. Again, it's going to be a display piece for me because my Super Nintendo I've converted to be region free, so I can play any game on that I want. I don't have to play some of my Japanese games on a Japanese system. I can play them on my United States system. And then a grail for me. Finally got it. I've been searching for a while, and I got my Nintendo Disk System. I've wanted one of these to go with my Famicom for a while now, and this one was junked from Super Potato. If you watch, in fact, I made my first purchase from a Super Potato. Never did that before. If you watched my video, then I got it junked. And it may or may not work because, again, sometimes junk systems just mean they didn't test it. Though with Super Potato, they've got the means to test it. So if they say it's junk, it's probably junk. And usually when these don't work, it's because the band, the belt in it has like decayed and broken. And it's a pretty easy fix. In fact, I posted on a retro game forum I'm part of for Richmond game collectors, and a bunch of guys like, oh, I've got an extra one, you can have it, kind of thing like that, which is cool. I may or may not take them up on it just because, again, I got this for a display piece. I don't even have any DS games or Disk System games to go with it, so I can't even play it. And in fact, my Famicom is also technically junked as well because, again, bought it for display, not for playing, kind of thing. And then I had to buy this separately. I got this from Super Potato, this from Surugaya, but that way to complete the look. Because originally I was just like, it doesn't have the cartridge slot piece. I was like, that's okay. I'm just going to set the Famicom on this. But then when I saw this for only 1,200 yen, I was like, oh, I'm going to get that. Boom. Have it completely set up, or at least looking set up. And then it will go in the top right there. So really cool to get this finally. And so I got that to go with my Famicom. And that is my haul. I was really hoping to get more games over there, like find better deals on games. But just unfortunately, it wasn't the case because I was staying in big cities. And if you watch guys like 4AM Laundry, Retro Wire, Tokyo Lens, if you're in the big tourist areas, you don't really find the deals on games that you used to because a lot of Western tourists, generally speaking, are like anime video game fans. So they're going to go and want to buy these things there. And they are cheaper over there than they are over here. Like if you go to get a Tamashii Nation figure or a Mafex figure, like some of the ones I have displayed over there, they're going to cost you sometimes like $15 to $40 less, and you're buying them retail, not secondhand. So when you're in those bigger city areas, there's sometimes a markup on stuff that you're not going to find, like if you're out in the more rural areas. Like junked. So I got this from a hard off in like a suburb outside of Osaka. Paid 500 yen for it. The cheapest junked Super Famicom I saw in Osaka proper and in Tokyo was like 3,000 yen. So, that's 6 times the price of what I paid for this. So that just kind of gives you the idea of the markup for those games. And like I said, I was staying in like this little Shibuya Like it wasn't in the center Shibuya. It was about a 30-minute walk from like the Scramble and about 15-minute subway ride to it. So at the book off, I got this for 270 yen. I think the cheapest I saw this particular game in Osaka and, you know, the main hubs of Tokyo, like Akihabara. I didn't do any retro game hunting in Shibuya, so I can't say for sure, other than, you know, just the book off by me. It was like 2,000 yen was like the cheapest I saw this. So again, 10 times the price of what this would have been. So, yeah, so I didn't get as many games as I wanted because some of the games I was looking for, like the Final Fantasy series, I only saw them in the bigger areas. So, you know, couldn't, you know, save a great deal on them. But, you know, this Mario Party, I saw for like 15 to 2,500 yen. In the bigger areas, I paid 500 yen for it, again, in that outskirts area. And even though this was in Osaka, the water damage and the Naruto games were pretty cheap anyways, 100 yen. So it just kind of goes to show you where you shop at. It all depends. But yeah, that's the haul video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked seeing all the cool stuff I got in Japan. It was a very fun trip. I'm going to do like a full recap of the trip really soon. I'm going to write a script for that. I've got a ton of B-roll to put in it because that's a suggestion I got on my do's and don'ts videos. Someone was like, "Oh, it's just a talking head. You could have used some videos." Like, well, I don't have videos, and I don't think people understand like buying stock photos and stock videos costs a lot of money. So I did take a lot of B-roll for my Japan trip recap video. So that there will be tons of video game stores, shrines, cityscapes, all kinds of things. Sakura trees, the deer, if you haven't watched that video. So that's coming up very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what of my things is your favorite. For me, obviously, it's going to be the Grail piece, the disc system, because I didn't think I'd get one of these, only for at least for a while, because they're pretty expensive, and you don't normally see junked ones go on sale here in the U.S. They're usually working ones. So that was pretty cool. This though, this I really like this. I think this is nifty and a cool thing for Nintendo, because I did, after I bought it, I put my Passmo card in there, and I used it constantly. And the main reason why I did that was because constantly taking the train, I didn't want to constantly get my wallet out, take my card out, scan it, everything like that. So keeping this in the case, I could feel it in my pocket really easily. So this was very useful. Really like this, really handy. And again, it's going to be a nice display piece to go like next to the disc system when I get that display. Because like I don't know when I'm going to do it, but in the coming weeks, that middle case is going to be redone to have just Nintendo systems in there, and I think it's going to look really cool. I'm really excited to do that. And yeah, so there we go. I'm rambling now, so don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like what you saw here, share it with a friend. If you didn't like what you saw here, go ahead and share it with an enemy, because a view is a view to me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.